You don't need a leaked cable to know that the story of the BP oil spill doesn't add up. Where did all that oil go? Naomi Klein and Big Noise Films' Jacquie Soohen headed to the Gulf of Mexico and found plenty of it in this report for The Nation magazine.
I think the Millwood discovery is when we definitively found the subsurface oil. Because what that did is it really changed the whole vision, the whole paradigm of what an oil spill is. It went from a two-dimensional disaster to a three-dimensional catastrophe, like that. We're going to be leaving on a research cruise on this boat called the RV Weatherbird. We'll be out in the northern Gulf of Mexico, areas around the DeSoto Canyon, areas east of the wellhead. East of the wellhead, about 20 nautical miles, so we're in the far field region. And this is, again, areas where we found toxic oil that has been toxic to marine organisms. We're going back there to see how widespread the distribution of oil is on the sediment surface, to see if there is still subsurface oil, what's its concentration, what's its persistence in the environment, how long can we, from May to August to this cruise, if we can see a decrease in concentration. People have a tendency to sort of gravitate to the charismatic megafauna, they call it. And those are the endearing animals like the birds, the turtles, and the dolphins. Indeed, those are the first, most obvious things that are affected by a surface oil spill. And they lend themselves to dramatic photos. But they don't lend themselves to dramatic changes in the structure of the ecosystem. But what we've been able to recognize is that it's the organisms that sit at the base of the food web, at the base of the trophic pyramid, the phytoplankton, the bacteria, and the ones that graze on them, the zooplankton, that seem to be the ones that are most potentially impacted.
So it's day 2 of the cruise, and in a couple of hours the experiments are going to begin. All of these pieces of machinery, all this equipment is going to be thrown overboard to collect mud samples from the ocean floor and to collect seawater for analysis.
What's odd is if it was a normal transition, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a horizon right above. That's a very, very, very black horizon. That's not normal.
No, the dark.
I mean, I've been here many times. You can see transitions, and they go olivey to gray.
Yeah.
rarely brown.
More gradational.
Yeah. And you don't have that black at the base.
Get a measurement.
So this is the line that David was talking about, which is a much darker line separating this sort of top kind of fluffy layer and the rest of the core. And other crews that have found oil on the bottom have described it being kind of this texture.
See all the sparkling? There's probably hundreds of little particles that you can see fluorescing. I'm not going to say definitively, but it smacks of hydrocarbon. The ocean was always viewed as the ultimate diluter, the ultimate equalizer of any pollution because of the volume of ocean relative to the volume of pollutant. And what we realized that that's not the case, because it doesn't get diluted all over. It does have a trajectory, it has a path, and it has a cycle and a fate. And there's going to be a consequence to that fate.
There was an anomaly at 70 meters where that white bar popped up. The range that the fluorescence is in is the range that's a telltale sign of petroleum.